Should you ride in the cold weather? This time of year, if you live somewhere where you experience colder climates, it can be really hard to decide whether or not it's a good idea to ride. Not all of us have a space to ride, but if you do have an indoor where you can ride, the question is, should you? In today's video, I'm going to cite some resources from Dr. Angie Yates from Yates Equine Sports Medicine. They're located in Ocala, Florida, and everything I'm going to be talking about I actually found from references that she posted in an article in a post from back in 2017. I'm going to post the link to that post as well as her own YouTube channel in the description down below. So if you want more information, you want to look her up, all of that information will be in the description below this video. It's important to note that there's not been a ton of research on this topic. So there's only a few sources that I'm going to mention here today. And a lot of them were done with working in this same temperature range of 23 degrees. So it's not a ton of information, but this will at least give us something to work off of. I also want to mention that everything that was discussed in these studies was based on actual exercise. So this is going out, trotting, doing trot sets, cantering, jumping, anything like that, as opposed to, it's not just horses being turned out or playing in the snow with their friends. The first study done on this was airway damage during exercise. And again, all the resources will be posted below. But basically, this study showed that there was damage done to the respiratory tract following exercise. Again, it was done at 23 degrees. And what they noticed in the cells of the lungs, of the respiratory tract, they found ciliated epithelial cells. So what does that mean? Basically, that means that there were increased numbers of those cells, which is something that happens when a horse or any animal, when they have some sort of irritation or inflammation in the respiratory tract. In the second study, scientists evaluated horses at 5, 24, and 48 hours post-exercise to see the effects of working out in that 23-degree air. What they found was bronchial constriction. So what is that? It's basically what happens if you have asthma or other respiratory inflammatory issues where the it'll actually swell up and you'll have trouble breathing. So they were seeing those effects in horses up to 48 hours after exercise. So what that means is that, it's not something that's happening just immediately after exercise. The effects can last a couple of days. Basically, this is an indicator that it could lead to other respiratory diseases when horses are working out in the cold weather. The third study I want to talk about today, scientists evaluated the fluid that came from a horse's lungs after they went through exercise, again in that cold weather. And what they found was an increased number of white blood cells and neutrophils. So basically, these cells are apparent in tissue that is, either it has infection or it's a precursor that there might be some sort of infection or inflammation coming down the pipeline. So this study showed that what can happen is horses will be more susceptible to respiratory infections following exercise in cold weather. To sum things up, basically, we need a lot more research on this topic. 3 studies, yes, they all showed sort of the same conclusion that working horses out in cold weather can leave them more susceptible to respiratory infections. It can cause damage to the airways for a period of time post-exercise, but we really need more information about the long-term effects and other effects on the body when it comes to exercising in cold weather. There's actually even been limited research done in humans for this. And I know myself, I'm a runner. When I go out for a run, my lungs always kind of feel funny when I come back from a run in the cold weather. So it's something that I'm even thinking about for me personally, whether I'm running or riding, how the cold weather affects my lungs. It's okay to sometimes put aside maybe our riding goals for a few weeks if it's in the best interest for our horses. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Put them in the comments below. Tell me, how do you handle it when you have cold weather? Do you ride? Do you choose to just do some limited work with your horse? How do you manage the colder weather months? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe so that you never miss another video. I'll see you next week.